Hi there folks, I'm out at the range today with the Kar 98K Mauser, and I'm going to be test firing some of this Persian 8mm Mauser ammo. I've done a previous video unboxing it, so today we're going to fire some for accuracy and over the chronograph to see what sort of velocity we get. And it should be interesting to see if there are any hang fires or any such thing, because this ammunition is kind of famous for having hang fires and duds. So let's see how we get along with this particular batch. That was a hang fire. And here's the group at 100 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did have one hang fire, which probably opened the group up a bit. It is hard to pretend that you're a flintlock shooter when you're shooting that stuff. So we have like 4.5 inches between those two. If we can get a group with no hang fires, I'm sure we can tighten that up a bit. Anyway, let's patch this up and go back and try another one. Here is effort number 2, once again at 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not exactly great stuff. Let me get the tape measure and measure it up. Yeah, we're looking at over 6 inches between the two extreme ones, so that's pretty poor shooting. So before coming out here, I made the assumption that some of this ammo might be duds or hang fires. So I pulled 10 rounds apart and I put the powder and bullet from the Persian surplus into a Privy Partisan 8mm cartridge case with an S&B primer. So we got the same bullet and the same powder charge, different case, different primer. So let's see if that makes any difference on the velocity and the accuracy of this stuff. Well, right off the bat, this is interesting. We have quite a different point of impact. Still holding at the bottom of the black bowl here, you can see where these rounds landed with the original loading. With the same components put into the privy brass, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so significantly higher point of impact. Not really any better group though. We've still got extreme spread of like 5 3/4 of an inch for that. And if we sort of discount that far one, we're around the 4-inch mark for those four, so still not really that good shooting the stuff. Here's the second group with the pulled and reloaded components. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still hitting really high compared to the factory loaded version. And we're looking at about 4 1/8 inches between that and that, so still not that great at shooting stuff. So to provide a point of comparison, I brought along some other 8mm ammo to shoot just to see how it groups compared to the Persian stuff. And this is actually loaded with military components as well. The bullet is the 218 grain boat tail bullet from Swedish 8x63 ammo, and it has 45 grains of the Swedish powder. And that seems to be a pretty decent load. So we're going to try that and see how it shoots compared to the Persian stuff. Here are 5 rounds with the Swedish components pulled out of 8x63mm ammunition. I know it looks like 4, but there are actually 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is actually 2 pretty much in the same hole. And as you can see, it shoots a little bit better than the Persian stuff does. It's still not match grade or anything, but you know, it's let's see, 3 3/8 of an inch extreme spread between those. So a little better shooting. Certainly shoots lower than the factory Persian stuff, and the reloaded Persian stuff shoots really high, which is kind of odd. The velocity spreads on this were much better. I think I'll go over that when I get home. But my chronograph is acting kind of weird. It's giving me some velocities in meters per second and some in feet, so I'm going to have to go home and convert them all to the same unit so I can use them. Anyway, maybe we'll look at the velocity stuff when I get home and get a chance to tabulate it. Alright, I'm back home from the range, so we'll have a look at the chronograph numbers. I managed to convert the mixture of feet per second and meters per second that the chronograph gave me into feet per second. So let's start off looking at the factory loaded stuff. So this is the straight up military ammo, and you can look at the numbers as we go through there. Sort of the important things are the highest velocity, 2493, the lowest, 2382. So that was 10 shots over the chronograph. And our second sheet here, we have our average, 2444, standard deviation, 35.5, and a fairly large extreme spread of 111 feet per second. This was at 20 degrees Celsius approximately. So that's not great, but it's not terrible for ammo that's starting to get hang fiery. I'd say the primers on that ammo are starting to break down. The powder seems fine, but I think the primers are starting to get a little on the tired side. So this is ammo that probably won't continue to function reliably for much longer. I had no duds at all, which surprised me because a lot of people online who have had other batches of this ammo have had duds, and I didn't have any. Excuse me. Had a few hang fires though. Alright, let's look at the numbers with the rebuilt ammo. So this is the same bullet and the same powder charge, but put into PPU brass with an S&B primer. So same 197 grain full metal jacket military bullet. So you can see the numbers there. Of note, we have the high 2497 and low 2425. I did fire 10 rounds of this over the chronograph, but somehow I ended up with only 9 readings. There's the 9th reading. So this stuff gave us an average of 2471, a little bit higher than the military straight up stuff. Standard deviation 27, which is a little bit lower than the military stuff, and a lower extreme spread of 72. So still not great, but this is military ball ammunition, so, and it is old, so you know the quality of the bullets is probably, you know, reasonable, but it's obviously not match grade stuff. A lot of people have ideas in their heads nowadays because you can go buy a factory cheap hunting rifle and factory ammunition, and you can pretty reliably get 1 MOA out of most of those new guns. These older rifles, even when they were brand new and the ammunition was brand new, were probably 3.5 minute to 4 minute of angle rifles back then. That's just a function of the level of quality control and the machinery and everything else that's on the go. So the groups that you saw in the shooting part of this video are not great, but then again, they're not, you know, horribly far off what the rifle is capable of. That rifle is probably, like I said, a 3.5 MOA rifle at the best of times. And with aged ammunition, with primers that are starting to get a little funky, that's about what you can expect. So keep your expectations realistic with these old rifles, I guess, is my thing. Anyway, I guess that'll do it for this video. I want to thank the owner of this ammunition, Chuck. I want to thank him for giving me the opportunity to open the ammo up and to fire some of it over the chronograph to test it. And We're going to give him back the rest of his crate of ammo there very soon. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, your ratings and comments are appreciated. Anyway, talk to you later.